Hello there. In this video I'm going to show you how to take an existing Eagle component device and to modify it to a device that you don't presently have but you have need of. And the device that I need actually is a common cathode RGB. And what I have on hand is a common anode RGB. So if you look at the part that I need, I guess I don't have the right schematic. Let's start with the common anode. Here's a common anode RGB. They share the same anode and they have individual cathodes. This is a 5mm leaded part, so here you see the outline. And I like this footprint here, how the holes are staggered, so we don't have as close of the hole pads are not as close to one another. So I want to use this, but the problem is I want to tie my cathode together and I want to leave my anodes separate. So that's what a common cathode LED is. And here's the pinout. 3 is the common, and then we have R for 4, G is 2, and B is 1. And so how do we do that? So what I found was on the Adafruit library that they provide on adafruit.com, or that you can just Google, they have a common anode RGB 5mm LED. And I'm going to use this one to create the common cathode. So the first thing you need to do is open up the library that you are going to modify. So if you don't have a library, I suppose, that you've already been working with, I suppose you could create your own. So let's see here. If I go File, actually I haven't created one in a long time. Here we go, File, New, Library. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and save it, and I'll just call this common cathode. I'll just say example live, because you can have lots of parts in here. I'm only going to put one in. I actually have a library that I want to stick this in. It's this JPG 16B3, but I'll move it in there later. So assuming that you've never made your own library, we just created a new library. Here it is. I saved it locally. Right here it is, right there. Okay, and let me turn this guy off. Well, that doesn't matter. Okay, here we have it open. No. Example library. Here it is. We have nothing in it. It's empty. Okay, so what we need to do is copy the common cathode, common anode RGB from Adafruit into this library. So you open the library into which you want to copy a part, and then you go to your control panel under libraries and you browse the library whose part you're trying to copy. And so here I've got the Adafruit library. I'm going to scroll down to RGB, and I see RGB common anode. Click on it. Yep, this is the one. So I just right click. I say copy to library. Alright, so now I can minimize this here, and I'm going to be working with this library. Now if I go back to oops. Let's see. How do I go back to there? Nope. Library. Table of contents. That's what I want. There we go. Okay. So here we see all of the devices, packages, and symbols that are in this library right now. So the symbol is the actual drawing that shows up on your schematic. It has no physical significance. The package is actually the physical description. So you might have a through-hole part, you may have a surface mount, it may be different sizes of surface mounts, a 0805, a 1206, etc. And then the device is actually the combination of a symbol and one or more packages, and it adds the information of how do pins on a symbol map to actual pads and holes on a package. Okay, so let's click on RGB LED common anode, and this is what we see here. I'm sure if you've done any Eagle CAD, you've seen this before. well, you see some view of it because whenever you place a part, you get to choose which package you want. In this case, since we're in the library, what you have is over here we have a symbol, and I would have added that symbol just like you'd add a part to schematic. Right? And I only have one symbol in this library, but we're going to add a common cathode one here in a minute. Once you add the symbol in that you want, now you're going to add packages. So we'd click New, and you'd select from your packages. Here we only have 2 packages, and they're both already being used. But you'd add it, and then it would list it in here. Then you would double-click on this, on a package, and you would actually here map the pins to the pads, which this has already been done. So we'll go through this with the part that we're going to create. Okay, so the first thing I have to do is I'm going to be real lazy. I'm going to go to the symbol. I'm going to open up the symbol for the common anode, and I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to select all of it. We'll do copy, right-click, copy group, and it's going to start floating. I'll hit escape because I don't want to paste it right here. And now I'm going to go to symbol, and I'm going to create a new symbol, and I'm going to call it RGB LED common cathode. And it says, do you want to create a new one? Yes. Okay, so now it's blank, and all I'm going to do is paste it in. All right, and here notice the zero or the origin of the part, so you have to decide where you want it to. This is how it's going to show up in the schematic. So like if you put it over here, people are going to be annoyed because when you rotate the part, it's going to rotate around this part, that's this center that's way off, away from the center of the symbol. So we'll set it right here. Okay, now I need to delete some lines here, and let me move this out here, because you might not notice from the video, but the trace width of this line that makes up the diode and the trace over here are 2 different thicknesses. This is actually a different feature. Okay, and what we will do here, I'll show you how this works. There is you draw some artwork. Okay, so all of this diode, all of this right here is just artwork. There's no significance to it, just visual. You could draw these as boxes. The only real important information as far as the CAD program is concerned are the pins. And these are actually pins, though you may not know it. So let me go ahead and place some more pins. And you get to choose when you put in a pin, you get to choose like how long the stem is or the orientation. Let's see, a really long. Let's see, no, I did that wrong here. Here, long stem or a really short stem or no stem at all. Okay. So we see that we actually already have some stems here. And I'm going to click on the information. We'll look at these to see what we can set. So it has a name, of course it has a position, but it also has a direction. Okay, direction is you can kind of give it a class for this pin. Is it an input-out signal? Is there no connect? Is it an output? Is it power? Is it passive? Okay, and this could end up resulting in electrical rules checking and errors or at least warnings. So if you don't really want to mess with this, you can kind of call it an I/O pin, and then it doesn't complain if it's a pin that ends up being driven or that drives the rest of that net. So I think in this case I'm going to leave these as I/O pins. I'm going to actually delete this one because I don't need it anymore. But let's go ahead and click on this one and see what the name is. It's called blue. Right? This one, the name is green. You could have called it, R, G, and B. Okay, so I have those pin names, and I want to leave those. Of course, if I'm going to put blue by this diode here, I better make sure that the pin that's going to tie to it is blue. So that's good. Now, I'm going to move these over to the anode side. All right. So move these around, put them on this side, and if you don't want such long stems, you can change the stem, let's see, length, we'll go short, make it a little shorter. Now there's a name that is associated here. And notice that, if we click on information, is on the layer names. Okay, that'll be your reference designator. So if that's not on your symbol, you need to add in some text on the names layer, and you need to type in greater than sign and then type name, and that will then be replaced eventually with the reference designator name. If you want to add a value, you would add text, and you'd say greater than a value. Oops. Hit enter, and now place that on the values layer. I think it's just value, not values. And we can place that wherever we want to. You can always move that if you smash the part later. Okay, now lastly, I need to, do need another pin. I forgot. I need to have the cathode, or the cathode. So let me put that here, and I will name this. Well, I can just do the name. I will call it K for cathode. Okay. Now notice that it actually puts the name here. So if I don't want to see that, I can either do through information or through change tool. I can change the visibility, and I can say, if I say pin, pad, I can do that, or I can say none. I'm going to turn them all off. I don't really want to have any text associated with that pin. And lastly, now I need to connect these up. Now I'm not going to use it. There's no net drawing here. We're going to use the wire. So this is just a feature, just visual feature to help us see what kind of part we have. And so maybe I'll do it like this. No, I don't want to do that. I just clobbered the red. Let me move this over here and do this. Okay. So we might want to double check that we have, looking down in the status down here, I see blue, green, red. So I'm good. So we'll save this. Now we're ready to create a, well, the question is, do I need to create a new package? And I'm going to argue I don't need a new package. I just need to make a device now. And I will use this symbol along with the package that was already used for the common anode RGB that we got from the Adafruit library. So let's create a device. We'll click on device, and we will call this, and it can have the same name as the symbol if you want it to. A lot of times you'll have a very generic symbol like diode, but you may have many different device names, 1N5819, and then you have a 1N40, 148, whatever. And so you'll have different device names, but you'll use the same symbol. Other cases, your symbol is specialized enough that there's going to be one symbol and one device. Here we could argue that you would have many different devices, but we're not getting specific on the actual part number, so we'll just call it an RGB LED common cathode. Okay, so now we have our layout for our device. We need to first pick which symbol we're going to use. So we want the common cathode symbol. We'll drop that in right here, and then we will add a package. And the package I'm really only interested in this one for right now. So we'll place this one here, and you have to give it a name. It needs a variant, that explanation. It wants a name, so I don't know, I'll just call it 5mm. Oh no, I'm sorry. The explanation tells me I haven't mapped the pins to the pads yet. So I don't need to give it a variant name, but if I were to add another one, then I would have to give it a variant name. So double click on here, and now I have to map the pins. So what I'm not sure about is the order in which the pads were named. So let's go check that first. I'm going to save. We'll go to package. We'll select the LED 5mm, and now I'm going to click on the show, and we'll kind of go through here. This is pad 2. That's going to be our common. This is pad 1. Yes. Okay, so the numbering goes from the flat side of the LED to the rounded side. So pad 1, 2, 3, 4. And I believe this is the same as Nope, it's backwards from this. This one starts with pin 4 is the flat side, and pin 1 is the rounded side. So we're going to have to keep that in mind and reverse that order. The thing to remember, I guess, is that our pin pad 2 will be common, and our pad 1 will be R, and then it'll be RGB. Okay, so pin 1, pad 1 is going to be R. So now we can go back to our device. We're doing the common cathode. Now we're ready to map. We're going to say the cathode is pin 2, so we say connect, and then the red is going to be 1, connect, and then it goes RG, so green is 3 and blue is 4. Okay. Now the last thing is value down here. You can either say on or off. If you want to display the value and have that editable, you can click on. And to be honest, double check the help for that. I've done this dozens of times, but I don't do it often enough that I would be able to say precisely what this is doing and not doing. But I believe that if you have it off, you will not see the value displayed, and it will flag you, or it will flag you if you want to change the value. And if I wanted to take the time, we could try it in both cases. I'm going to leave it off now, and we'll see what happens. So before we end this video, let me just let's go ahead and use it. Use the part in a schematic. So I'll close this, and let's go back to Eagle. Okay, so now let's just open up a design, and let's say I have, well, here I have a little schematic already that I was working on. So maybe what I need to check is make sure that my library is enabled or is loaded. So here's the example lib. No, it's not. So I got to turn that on, make it green. So now if I add a part, no, it shouldn't take long. Come on. Okay. Now wait a minute. Oh, I know. I have all these. I must have had the standard Eagle, all their libraries loaded, so that's why it took a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search on. I know I have RGB. Well, I have RGB LED. I think I called it common cathode. Let's go star. There we go. Yeah, what it does is it takes the name of the device and then it appends the variant. So since I put 5mm, it does CC 5mm. So there it is. Excuse me, there it is. So I'm going to actually modify my circuit now so that I have this part in place. Oh. Yeah, this is not good. This $1, that's bad. So let's go fix that. What I'm going to do is go back to my control panel. Let's load up the library, and let's look at the device, common cathode. I forgot to set the prefix. The prefix for this is going to be D or lead. I'll say lead. Okay, so let's save that. Now, if I go back to my schematic, it's not going to update all right away. So what I can do is I can do library update all, and sometimes it'll update. Let's try it this way. If you go to add a part and you go add an instance of that part again, then it updates all of them. So let's see if that works. Sorry for the delay here. Okay, so let's look for this guy. We'll stick it in there, and when I place it here, let's see. Yep, now it's renamed it. It gives me LED 2, and let's see if it's fixed the first one. No, that one's still messed up, so let me delete that one. Okay, so the last thing I'll do, maybe I will actually wire this up, and then we can double check that we have actually the right the right pinout. So I actually don't want to have this value on here, so I'm gonna delete the value for now. And yeah, then I'm going to delete this guy because I don't want a common cathode anode. I'm going to move all these guys. Oops. Sorry, haste makes waste. Boom, boom, boom. Move this, move these guys up. Move this guy down. And I guess I'm going to have to delete all these. Okay. And I'll wire this up here. Okay. Now let's go over to the board and see what we have. Display to layer, and okay. If I wanted to be sure, let's do this. Let's go back over here, and I'm going to name, call this R, G, and B, and we'll label them. Oops. We will actually show them here. There's B, G, and A, and R. Make sure those are right. R, G, B, yep. And then we'll name this one K, or maybe I'll say common C. There. Now, lastly, to verify this, let's just do show C. Okay, that's right, because recall that our package here on the flat side, C is the second pin in. So flat side second pin in is C. We can do show R, that should be the first one. Oh, rats. I shouldn't have called those R. Well, okay, so now I'm gonna call this RR, call this GG, and I'll call this one BB. Okay, so now let's go show RR, there we go, pin 1, RGG, that's pin 3, and BB is the third one. So there you go. We now have a library part for a common cathode 5mm RGB. The very last thing that I want to do is I don't actually want to use this library. I have my own library that I want to stick this into, so let's go ahead and do that. Close this, and let's go back to our control panel. So what you have to do is open up your library into which you want to copy this. So here's the library I want to put it in, and I'm going to go to my example library, and I'm going to go to my common cathode, the one I just created. I'll right click and I'll say copy to library. And now in the library that I do want to use, I have let's see, under devices I should have my RGB common cathode, and then if I want to add in the common anode, which is good to have too, I'll say copy to library. Now I have that one as well, both of them. Save it, and you're done. Alright, I hope that was helpful if you're trying to modify a device in an Eagle library, and that's all for now.